Hello, so today we are going to start a brand new project on Scratch, and this one was a request from one of the watchers of the channel, it's from Ava, and so she's given me a few ideas on a game that she'd like to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at making a game that works on a grid, so you can control a character that moves to certain spaces on the grid to try and collect items. Now there was a request that we use the unicorn, so that's what we're going to use. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Scratch and remove him from the stage. I'm going to get a new sprite. I'm going to go and get our unicorn. So we know he's here somewhere because we've used him before. Probably at the bottom because his name will be unicorn. There we go. Okay, we've got some options. I think last time I used that one, so this time I'm going to use this one just to change it up. So here's my unicorn character. Now at the moment that's a bit bigger than I'd like, so I'm going to go down to about 80% size. Oh, not 180, 80. Okay, pretty happy with that. Might go to 70 actually, just a little bit smaller. Go to 70. Perfect. Right, now, what I want to do is I want to set out a grid for where the unicorn can go. So we're going to have sort of 1, 2, 3. Can we fit 4 in? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go for 3. I don't want to stretch it too far. So 3 up, and I'm going to go for 4 across. So there's going to be 3 up, 4 across. That's 3 lots of 4. So there would be 12 possible spaces. Okay, so let's do the coordinates for our 12 spaces first. So I'm going to put it into where I want slot 1 to be. Actually, what I might do is I might mark them with something first. I want to mark the slots first. So I wonder whether I can use a sprite to mark the spots. And I was going to use clouds. I'm going to use this cloud, I think. So the different clouds will be the different spots that they can go to. So we're going to end up with quite a lot of clouds here. So I'm going to go for cloud 1. And I'm going to name them so I know what they're called. So we've got cloud 1, right, and then I'm going to duplicate. And it's cloud 2. So we're going to have 3 going up. Duplicate. Cloud 3. And again, so I'm going to keep duplicating. We'll see. Actually, I might go to 3 by 3 instead of 3 by 4. So I have 9 possible spots. Okay. So we've got cloud 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so these are the spots that our unicorn can go to. Right, now here's where it's going to get interesting because I want to control the unicorn so they can only go to certain spots from other spots. So if I'm in cloud number 1, I can only go to cloud number 4. I'll make sure I've got the unicorn. And let's bring it on top. Right, so that's a problem we've found already, is that we need to be able to go on top. So go to the front layer is an important thing that we need to make sure that the unicorn is doing. So I can only go from here to here, or from here to here. I can't go to this one in the corner, so I need to make sure that when I program it, I only move to certain locations. So let's think about how we might do that. We could use the coordinates, but I think there might be a different way to do this, because we could get them to go to the sprites. So we could say, when we start the game, I want you to go to not random position, I want to use the drop down, go to cloud 1. So we start the game, wherever we were, go to there. Now, here's going to come, the way I'm thinking about doing this is thinking about, can I use something clever here to move between the different clouds, or do I have to have a lot of code to program this? Let's have a little look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the names of the clouds, because they're called Cloud 1, Cloud 2, Cloud 3, Cloud 4, to control where the unicorn goes, and then I could really make some effective code that doesn't involve lots and lots of blocks, and hopefully it'll only involve a few. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about the name of the cloud is Cloud 1, Cloud 2, so it's cloud and then a number. So if I go to operators, I can get a join block. And the first word is always cloud with a capital C. So I'm going to write the first word is cloud. The second part of the name is a number, but it changes, and we know that we can use a variable for this. So if I go to make a variable, so I could call this C number for cloud number, and so I've got this variable called cloud number. Now I don't really need to see it, but I might leave it there for now. So when we start the game, we wanted to go to cloud number 1, didn't we? So at the start of the game, we'll set the cloud number to cloud number 1. Okay. And then to make sure that our unicorn is always at the right cloud, we could say forever go to, and then we don't want cloud banana, because there isn't a cloud banana. We want the number of our variable, so C number. So go to cloud C number. Now at the moment C number is 0, but when I click go, it will become 1. So that block at the moment is saying cloud 1 because it substitutes the C number for the number 1. So it's going to forever go to, at the moment, cloud 1. But if I change this C number, it should change which cloud it goes to. Now here's where we need to do a bit of visualization. So this is cloud number 1. If I go up, it's going to go to cloud number 2. So from number 1 to number 2. So if I change the cloud number by 1, it should go up 1. If I get a control block, no, an events block that says when the up key is pressed. So when the up arrow is pressed, change the C number by 1. Now if I press up, look, he goes up, and I do it again, and he goes up, because I'm just changing up each time. In fact, if I carried on, he will go to the bottom and start climbing again. So we can do that. We can do the opposite with down as well. So if I duplicate this whole little algorithm here, I can change this to the down arrow, and I can say take away 1. And so now when I press down, he goes down the clouds. Okay, what about if I want to move left and right? So if this is cloud number 1, when I go right, we get to cloud number 4. So we've added on from 1 to 4, we've gone 2, 3, 4. We've gone 3 spaces up. And then from cloud 4, if I go hit this way, it's cloud 7. So that's 5, 6, 7, 3 spaces up. So when we move right, it looks like we go 3 up in our cloud numbers. So if I right click and duplicate and say, right, if I press the right arrow, if I go up by 3, I should be able to move. No, that's interesting. It went not where I was expecting it to. Oh, I think that works better. Okay. So just then I'm just pressing right, and it goes from cloud number 1, it adds on 3 to cloud number 4, adds on another 3 to cloud number 7. Then we right click, duplicate, and we're going to do the same with left, but we do the opposite, so we want to take away 3. Okay, so now I've got a system where I can move to any of these spaces. I can press up, down, left, right, and it will just go to the cloud next to it. Now if I wanted to, I could actually end up going into lots of minus numbers. So we can do something about this so that you don't go too high or too low. So let's build an algorithm that means you can't go off the edge too much. So actually, you know, I'm going to leave it for today. I think that not necessary. I'm going to leave that one. What we're going to do instead is we're going to program in the collectibles. So I'm going to get rid of the C number because that now works. So I'm just going to hide it by going to variables and unchecking it. It's hidden. All right, next thing I want to do is I want some stars that I can collect. So I'm going to need a new sprite. That's a star. Now I don't know if there is a star on here. It will probably be an S if there is one. A shark. Not what I wanted. There is a star. Awesome. Right, so what I want the star to do is I want the star to go to different clouds and be collectible. So let's start with some code on this. So we're going to say when the game begins, when we click go, we want you to let's do it 10 times. You've got to collect it 10 times to win. So we're going to say repeat 10 times, and we want them to go to, choose one of the clouds and then go to it. So let's see if we can use that clever method again to randomize this. Let's use join. Let's go cloud. But instead of this time using the variable, we're going to pick a random number between 1 and 9. So I'll pick a random number, one of the clouds to go to. Now I want to go to, so that's in motion. It's that one, but then we can just slide this in and it should replace it. Okay. Now, once it has gone there, I need it to wait until it's touched. So this might not be the best way to do it with a repeat loop. Let's think. If I go sensing, I want it to be collected, so I want it to be touching and unicorn. So if it touches the unicorn, then we score a point and it can move. So if touching unicorn, then I need a variable called score. So make another variable, score. Okay, so we've made the variable called score. Right, score starts at 0. Yep, that's fine. So at the start of the game, start the score at 0. If they touch, then I want them to change the score by 1. Change the score by 1, and then I want it to do another loop. So I want it to move again. So where do I want this? Do I want one of those there, and then I want that in there? I don't think it's going to wait if I do that. I think it will just keep moving. Let's see, is there a block I can use to mean that it waits until it's been touched? No, I think this might work. Let's test it. Okay, so start the game. So the star has gone to the middle cloud, so let's move to it and collect it and see what happens. So it's not going anywhere, and I move it, and nothing's happened. Right, there's a reason why nothing's happened, because I haven't got a forever loop, so it's not always checking. So let's put a forever loop in, because at the moment it's only checking right at the start of the game. So now I'm forever checking if the unicorn is being touched. Sorry, if the star is being touched by the unicorn. Okay, so it's gone to a different one this time, so that works. It's not going anywhere, and then when I touch it, brilliant. So you see that I touched it and it moved to another random position. Right, and I can keep doing this over and over again until I get to my score of 10. Now, interestingly, I've gone over a score of 10. So my repeat loop isn't working like I thought it might. It's obviously the forever loop has got it trapped. So we're going to do this a different way. We don't need the repeat loop. We're going to instead do another check to see what the score is, and then we can set our score limit to whatever we want. So let's go for a forever if when the game starts. So when the game starts, forever if the score, and that's a variable, isn't it? If the score is greater than 10, greater than 9, let's say greater than 9. So if score is greater than 9, so 10 or above, so it should be 10, then we're going to stop everything. Which is in, where is it? Stop all. Okay. But we could do some other things as well to do our game over. So I'm going to set a broadcast, which is going to be called end, because it's going to be the end of my game. And I'm going to switch the backdrop. Now, at the moment, I've got a blank backdrop, which I'm okay with, but we can add some new ones in. So let's go to the backdrops. Let's find a good backdrop for our main scene. So I'm thinking something in the sky maybe. So I could just go blue sky. Could be in space. Could have a space unicorn. Quite like that one. That one might work quite well for me. Under the water is not really the theme I'm after. Okay, I'm going to go for the nebula. I think is the most interesting one for me. Okay, cool. So I've got a space unicorn. Right, so that's my main one, and then I want like a winning background. So I'm going to go to another backdrop, and I'm going to choose one that I like the look of. That's going to be my winning backdrop. Might just be a pattern. I'm going to go for the heart. Sort of fits in with my unicorn theme. So this is the win, and we're going to type a little "you win" message on it. You win, and we'll make it nice and big. Color's good. Awesome. Right, so we need to program that the right backgrounds turn up at the right time. So we're going to say when the green flag is clicked, switch backdrop to nebula. When we receive the broadcast, because remember we've got this broadcast called end now, we are going to switch to the backdrop win. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to get everything else to hide at the end of the game. So when I receive end, I would like you to hide. And we're going to be clever, and we're going to do this the most efficient way we can. So instead of clicking that over and over again, I'm going to just click, drag, and drop it onto all the clouds, one at a time, so that they've all got that same code. So I'm copying this code across, and it just saves me having to drag the same thing out every time. Now I'm going to have to do another piece of code that says they all need to show again at the start of the game. Okay, so let's do another bit of code that says when the green flag is clicked, show. Do exactly the same. So I don't want them to be disappeared at the start of the game, do we? Okay. Got to make sure you do them all in order. Don't miss any out. We'll find out in a minute if I've missed any, because they will appear when they shouldn't do. Okay. The last couple. And the star. Perfect. Okay. Let's give it a go. So we click go, and the nebula's on the background, the clouds are all there, and the star's there, and the unicorn's there. So let's get our score of 10. Let's see if our score check works first. Obviously, guys, you could have whatever you wanted. Perfect. So I got to 10, and it says you win, and that's the end of my game. Now let's see if it restarts properly. Brilliant. Nebula's there, clouds are all there, stars there. Let's have one more go, and I think we've got a completed game. So click the stars. Now you guys could have whatever you wanted. You could draw your own stars. You haven't got to have a unicorn. You could have clouds. You could do your own backgrounds. There's loads of customization you could do for this. You could even improve the control system and make it so you can't move off the screen. So you can't press left all the time and move off the screen. There's lots of things that we could do, but I think for a little working game that we can do in a short amount of time, this is really good. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've had a go, you can submit it on the VLE. And I hope you're all well. I hope to see you all again soon, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.